Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon? Or ask the grinning bobcat why he grins? Can you sing with all the voices of the mountain? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Pocahontas' real name is Mataka. Pocahontas was given to her because it means playful or willful one. Pocahontas' father was the chief king of the Powhatan Confederacy of the Occoquan tribes in the Tidewater region of what became Virginia. The 5 books that I've chosen for this project are Life and Times of Pocahontas and the Early Colonies, which was written by Lisa Trimble. You Wouldn't Want to Be an American Colonist, A Settlement You'd Rather Not Start, written by Jacqueline Maury and illustrated by David Artrim. And then we also have Pocahontas, A Daughter of a Chief, written by Carol Green. And then we have Jamestown, the first English colony, which was written by Susan Harkins and William Harkins. And then we also have Pocahontas, which was written by Lucia Rotman. And now I'm going to go ahead and delve into each book and tell a little bit about each one. Okay, so the first one we have here is Life and Time with Pocahontas and the Early Colonies. The book is for ages 6 and up, and it's for first graders and learning. And what they're doing is they're learning about who Pocahontas is and who she was, and why, as an Indian, it was hard to live in Jamestown, and how the Native Americans helped the colonists. And this book will help the children jump into a time capsule of sorts, so they can discover what life was like back in those days. The next book that we're going to go into is You Wouldn't Want to Be an American Colonist, and this book depicts what it was like to be one of the first colonists in Jamestown and in the 17th century. And the title illustrates the hardships and labor in the early settlers in America, and describes their battles with the Algonquins to claim land that was not theirs. And it highlights such leaders as Captain John Smith. And I thought it was interesting, and I don't know, it was kind of like the comic books that are the comic book theme that we saw in some of the books that we read. Kind of like how they jumped all over the place. Like it has the story outlined, and then it has the little bubble letters here. And then the next book that we're going to go into is the Pocahontas, the Daughter of a Chief book. And this book is a biography of Pocahontas that highlights some of the important events, and it helps to bring peace, shows that it helps to bring the peace and friendships between the English settlers. And this book is for ages 7 and up, and as you can see, it has great illustrations, and the way that, as you can see, the writing is in bold here, so it's easy to read for the students. So the ones that are just starting to learn how to read, it's right there and easy to read for them to follow along. Next one is Jamestown, the first English colony. And this book is geared towards students who are late in elementary or middle school. And this book reflects on the history of Jamestown and it discusses many of the underlying factors and alternatives explanations. The book touches briefly on Pocahontas tribe, the Powhatans, and the relationship between Pocahontas and the relationships between Pocahontas and John Smith. And the strengths of the book are that it's well written, and it's detailed artwork, and it's short chapters, which helps keep the interest of the students because it's continually changing, as you can see here. So the next book is Pocahontas, which is a brief biography of the American Indian princess who was a young girl who befriended John Smith and saved him from death at the hands of her father, and later was very helpful to the colonists of Jamestown. And this book is for students kindergarten through second grade. And as the other ones, you know, the layout of the writing is big bulk letters, so it's easy for them to follow. Overall, the layout of each book was pretty much the same. They were all pretty much like this with the bold letters, and all of them had the pictures in them. The book that I found most interesting was this one, because as you can see, they had the actual bold letters in this one. For instance, you have shelter right here. So if it's actually bolded here, the student can go in the back of the book and look it up to see what it means, which I thought was a neat aspect in the book. And then obviously the illustrations are impeccable. And then this book here had little side notes, little bubble notes or bubble clusters in it, which gives it a little added appeal to the children. When it came to deciding what non-fictional character I wanted to do my project on, I knew that I wanted to choose a female to do it on, and it was a toss-up between a few of them, and I decided on Pocahontas because for some reason the song that I sung in the beginning, it's always stuck in my head, and I honestly don't have an answer to why I always sing it, but I do. And it just felt like that's who I should do it on, and that was that. And thank you for watching my video.